socialism.
That was Senator Bernie Sanders today delivering a defense of socialism. Socialism has been tried over the years, you may have heard, from Venezuela to Vietnam. It has failed everywhere it's ever been tried. But Sanders is hoping he can convince America to give it another shot. What sort of promises does Sanders say that socialism can keep? Justin Haskins is a research fellow at the Heartland Institute, and he joins us tonight. Justin, thanks a lot for coming on. So you saw Senator Sanders' speech. Essentially, he said this time it will be different. Will it be?
No, of course it won't be different. That's what every democratic socialist, authoritarian socialist has ever said in the history of the world. They never come out and say, hey, we're going to take away all your rights, we're going to take away all your property and give it to somebody else. They tell you, don't worry, this time it's going to be different, this time it's going to work. And after 100 years of trying, we've had 167 million people who have been imprisoned and exiled and murdered by socialist and communist parties. There's a reason for that, Bernie. It's because it doesn't work. It never works. It never will work, because socialism is completely antithetical to human nature. People do not respond to anything other than incentives or fear. And so if you can't provide people with incentives, then I guess you have to put a gun to the back of their head and force them that way.
It's virtually always been accompanied by violence, and you're saying that's inherent to the system. Bernie said in his speech today, one part that I was legitimately baffled by, promising amnesty to the 20-odd million people living here illegally, basically an open borders promise. How can you have socialism for the world? How can you pay for that? How does that work?
Well, you can't. It's basically impossible. Not only that, but so many of Bernie Sanders' policies, take gun control, for instance, regardless of what you think about immigration, just take gun control. How can you have gun control in the United States with open borders? How do you expect to stop all the guns from flooding into the United States? If you really want gun control, you have to have closed borders. And so many of Bernie Sanders' policies don't make any sense. But I think what I believe Bernie Sanders is after, truly, is just to take away as much power and as much money as he possibly can from the private sector, from people who own businesses, and give it to people who are going to vote for him and people like him. I don't think it's about anything other than that.
I don't think you're going to go broke on that theory. I think you may be onto something, Justin Haskins. I would say. Thanks for joining us tonight. Good to see you.
Thanks, Tucker.